Hey, Trace Mayer from the Bitcoin Knowledge Podcast. So I'm going to start a new cultural tradition for the Bitcoin community. It's called the Proof of Keys Celebration. The Genesis block, it came out on January 3rd. Satoshi, there's Bitcoin white paper. And as Andreas has said, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. So on this Proof of Keys celebration, what we're going to do is we're going to withdraw all of our Bitcoin from any third-party services just to prove that they're there. Right? It's either on the blockchain or it didn't happen. Why would we want to do this? Well, we got lots of new people that have come into the community, and I think it's important for us to declare and redeclare our monetary sovereignty on a regular basis. Anybody who doesn't want you to hold your own private keys or do your own network consensus, they're your monetary enemy. They don't want you to be free and independent with your money. So, that's just the way it is. So this is an initiation for new hodlers of last resort. And they get to join with fellow hodlers of last resort and celebrate this Genesis block. I think it'd be a pretty cool thing to do. A lot of fun. You can choose to become a first-class Bitcoin citizen by holding your own private keys and doing your own network consensus. Second-class Bitcoin citizens, they only have their private keys. Third-class Bitcoin citizens, they don't have either their private keys or their network consensus. And if you're a third-class Bitcoin citizen, if there's anything that history in this space has taught us, it's that you're going to get wrecked one of these days. Yeah, just the way it is. So don't do that. The first rule of Panic's to do it first. By participating in this Proof of Keys celebration, it gives us a date. We get to generate a lot of discussion, and we can help people with best practices and stuff. And it helps you develop the human capital that then gives you the optionality to be at the front of the line if there is a panic. Hey, why not? Better than being at the back of the line or the middle of the line. Plus, gaining the technical literacy will help put you on the path to safely and securely claim your forks and airdrops. And that can mean a lot of money. You know, a lot of people are just lazy with their security. Maybe because it doesn't really matter until it's the only thing that matters. I have a friend, went to law school with her, helped her and her husband buy their first $100 worth of Bitcoin, told them, hey, you should use Armory if you buy more of this stuff. Because $100, you don't have to put a lot of thought into securing that. You lose it, big deal, right? Well, a couple years later, I got pinged on Skype. They'd lost 5,000 of their Bitcoin. They were still using blockchain.info. So dumb. They got so wrecked. I mean, 5,000 Bitcoin, that's a lot of money. So when you have $100 of Bitcoin, put $100 of thought into securing it. But when you have 5,000 Bitcoin, put a little bit more effort into securing it. And you never know, the price of Bitcoin can go up really fast. It's better to be prepared and to learn and develop this when it's not a lot at stake and you're not under a time constraint or pressure. I got tips: Bitcoin Core for network consensus, Armory for private keys, Glacier Protocol for operational procedures, Purism Laptop for your hardware. Maybe you don't want to put all that effort into it. I totally understand. At least take some territory in this monetary sovereignty fight. Run Bitcoin Core, encrypt the wallet, write the passphrase down physically. Store the wallet.dat file in multiple different places, along with the written password. Just start doing something. Develop some of these best practices. By not doing that, you're just not respecting the private keys. You play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. There's a guy that threw 7,500 Bitcoins in his hard drive into the dump. Another ding-dong with about 50 Bitcoin on his iMac decided he'd go trade his iMac in without having a backup. Duh. Just, be careful with your private keys. Another guy had 335 Bitcoin Cash. It decided he'd import the private keys into an untrusted wallet without moving the Bitcoin Cash. Okay, poof, they're gone now. Good luck with that. Also, something that's very understated and people don't really appreciate enough is the importance of respecting the consensus rules. We saw this during the SegWit 2x New York Agreement like hubbub. BitPay surreptitiously decided to call as an upgrade, fraudulently putting in a different node consensus software into their code. This is a bad idea. If you're not performing your own network consensus, you're at the mercy of those who do for you. Bitcoin Core even wrote an article about this. They said, quote, "The signatories of this agreement wrongly believe that the currency created by adopting this contentious hard fork will eventually become Bitcoin. Therefore, storing any Bitcoin on services such as Coinbase, BitPay, and Zappo is strongly not recommended. By storing Bitcoin on these services, you could find that after the hard fork, your Bitcoin has been renamed to something else or replaced entirely with a new altcoin." So, hey, we've seen this happen throughout history with fiat currencies. Like one day you've got 10 pesos you got 10,000 pesos, the next day you got 10 pesos or whatever. It's a hard fork, contentious, it's a confiscation of wealth. Same type of thing can happen if you're running the wrong software, not doing your network consensus, whatever. Another thing to keep in mind with all of this is Hotel California. You can check in, but you can't check out. What am I talking about? Verification limits. One of the first things you start seeing when one of these custodians has issues with the number of Bitcoins that they have is that they start limiting or lowering verification and withdrawal limits. We saw it with Mt. Gox. Sometimes they start charging a large fee, like Bitfinex started charging 3% withdrawal fees, and countless others. So you just get all this stuff in advance, set up in advance, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it's important. Because these threads of monetary slavery, they're often wound around us, and they're too thin to be felt until they're too strong to be broken. Preemptively and repetitively burst any of these threads that bind you and declare your monetary sovereignty. We can do it annually with this proof of key celebration. Be a great new ritual for us. It'd be awesome. So in conclusion, I invite all of you, new people, join us hodlers of last resort on January 3rd for this proof of key celebration of the Genesis block. Initiate yourself in holding your own private keys and doing your own network consensus. Declare and redeclare your monetary sovereignty. Choose to become a first-class Bitcoin citizen by holding your own private keys and doing your own network consensus. Develop the human capital. Invest in yourself that gives you the optionality to be free and independent.